Hey guys, I've been putting a lot of thought into Battlefield 4 and esports and how it could be made better, or just generally new ideas that could be implemented. I wanted to talk a little bit about game modes and whether a game mode such as Search and Destroy, or Demolition, whatever you want to call it based on whatever game you came from, would work in Battlefield 4. Now in the background I've got some Call of Duty Black Ops 2 footage. The reason I've got that when I'm talking about sort of Battlefield is because I'm showcasing the Search and Destroy mode for people who aren't familiar with it. Now let me just explain how Search and Destroy works for those of you who don't know. Essentially you have two teams, attacking and defending, that have two areas or bomb sites that they are able to attack or defend. The attacking team need to either eliminate the entire defending team or plant the explosives and prevent it from being defused to win that round. The defending team must either eliminate the attacking team completely or defuse the bomb if it is planted, and then they win the round. When you die, you stay dead until the next round, as it is called, and then you do it all over again. The first team to a certain amount of rounds wins. Usually you play a certain amount of rounds on one half, either attacking or defending, then you swap sides. Each round also has a time limit, usually sort of a minute to 2 minutes. Now this sort of game mode is the same type that is played in Counter-Strike, Call of Duty 4, competitive, in times gone by, and many other games, including the one I'm playing here in Black Ops 2. It's all slightly changed over the course of time, and some people put some twists on it, much like the recently released Medal of Honor Warfighter. Now that game had a lot of potential in terms of the game mode, but as we all know, the actual game itself was terrible. Where Medal of Honor did things differently though, instead of having two bomb sites or two attacking points, they instead had two flags at certain points of the map. What the attacking team needed to do, instead of planting explosives at a certain point, they needed to get one of the two flags and then return it to their base. If you died, you stayed dead for the round, and that was kind of an interesting mix on Search and Destroy. You would have certain rounds, so let's say you had 10 rounds, you would try to get the flag, either the defending team would kill all the attacking team, or the attacking team would get the flag and return it for a point. You would then swap sides, and the winner would be the team with the most points. It was an interesting mix, and for the most part it worked quite well. Unfortunately the game itself was terrible, so it never took off. It's like Search and Destroy and Capture the Flag had a love child, and that was what was born. Those games aside though, I think a Search and Destroy game mode in Battlefield may have potential if it's done right. Call of Duty 4 did it very well, and I feel the gunplay in Battlefield would work fairly well in this type of game mode. The maps though would have to be well designed, even more so than on Conquest. Counter-Strike, even after this many years, relies on the same base maps that it did when it was released. And that's because the maps are balanced, people enjoy playing them, and they have good gameplay. DICE would need to ensure that the maps worked well, and this may even mean designing Search and Destroy maps specifically for that game mode, rather than just making general maps and sticking all game modes on them. In fact, I'd be very surprised if the Search and Destroy mode would work without being specifically designed for it. Otherwise, it'll just end up being like some of the Battlefield 3 maps are now, almost an afterthought on some game modes. Now I'll discuss the elephant in the room, and that is balance issues. There of course would be balance issues that would need to be addressed if Battlefield was to adopt this sort of game mode. Search and Destroy, and I'm calling it Search and Destroy because that's what most people would be familiar with, but it does go by other names. The main issues are how the game mode works. So S&D works best when it is done in a round-based system, with players staying dead for that round when they die. The problem with this, of course, is unlike other games, Battlefield has med packs and defibs that are an integral part of the game, and an integral part of the medic class. That would have to be worked on. I feel as though if this game was going to be successful with this game mode, defibs and med packs would have to be disallowed on this particular game mode, unless some clever way was worked out where it could be balanced. One thing this mode would potentially bring is more use of other classes though. With Search and Destroy being a slower game mode than Conquest, it means the Recon class, for example, or even the Support class may be a more viable option when holding a certain location, because it's slower paced. The sniper can spot long angles, and the support can set up a bipod at certain points to try and defend a bomb site. Now, I'm not saying that Battlefield must have this game mode for esports to work, In fact, I loved 5v5 Conquest as an esports mode, and I think it worked well, and I'd be very happy if that is an esports part of Battlefield 4. All I'm doing is just suggesting other game modes that may work and may be interesting. I think 5v5 Search and Destroy would be a lot slower than Conquest, so that is something to take into consideration. Of course, Conquest would be a lot faster paced and potentially more enjoyable to watch as an esports title as well. I want to see what you guys think of Search and Destroy and this type of game mode. Would you like the idea? Would you want to play it? Or would you rather just not bother with any new game modes? Either way, I hope you found this video interesting. Like and subscribe if you did. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.